Alright guys, welcome back to Hollow Mechanic. Today we are going to be showing you the new kit for repairing and rebuilding the Ferrari PTUs. This is when you have the low ATF fluid warning light on the dash, and if you add the fluid, then the light goes away and it continues to drive. Now the reason I say that is that usually happens well in advance of any other PTU failure, okay? And there are other things that can fail on the PTU. The pump can go bad, the hydraulic line can go bad, sensors, solenoids can fail. Fortunately, all of that stuff is easily accessible on the outside of the PTU, so what we're addressing is the flaw that causes them to fail. And if you don't know what that is, I have another video. I'm going to link it here. That shows you what that flaw is. We're going to briefly discuss that, but here's what's in our kit. These are the seals for all the plugs, again, all in Viton. These are the clutch plugs, these little plugs to the clutch housing, seals for that, valve body to the PTU seals, all the solenoid O-rings that you will need, clutch seals, clutch housing to PTU housing. Also, there's 2 axle seals on the passenger side and then 1 large axle seal on the driver's side. And obviously that's just normal, anybody can do that. These are what we're most concerned with here. These are the seals for the shafts that these bronze bushings allow the fork to ride on, and then of course these are what you want, right? This is what solves the problem. Now let me go ahead and show you the difference between mine and what Ferrari uses here. If you look at them closely, if you watch the other video, you know that one of the problems is the hammering that this has happening to it. You can see the little indentation there, the little eye hook where it's been, you know, hammering into that. You can also see on one of these other ones a little bit better here, like how little coverage that snap ring gets. Like there on the bottom half, you basically are not getting any coverage at all. You're only getting coverage up here on the top half, that little grayed area or scratched up areas where the snap ring is holding. And on the bottom, you can see the snap ring isn't even really holding any pressure there or there. So what it does is it flexes it right here, and these things just break off. And if both of them break off, well, then it's extremely difficult to get that snap ring out. You have to use a Dremel and carefully Dremel through until it snaps in half without damaging the fork. It'd be a major pain. So as soon as you get this warning light, you should address this. Now, the way that Ferrari has it made is there is a spring inside this outer seal, which is totally unnecessary. This fork should be static. This bushing should be static in the fork. It should not be moving. So what we did is we made it thicker. If you look at the lip there at the bottom, between there and there, mine is obviously a little bit thicker, and that prevents it from vibrating. It's the perfect width that the fork allows, so there's no more hammering. This will be locked in place, and because of that, we've switched this outer seal to just a regular 75 geometer Viton O-ring. That's rated to 1800 psi. The PTU operates at 1000 psi. You don't need this overly complicated, stupid seal. We also made it a little tighter so the O-ring fits right in. Now for the inner one, again, they have one with a coiled spring inside of it. We went with a little bit different of a design. We went with an open spring there so that as hydraulic pressure is applied, it will actually increase the sealing of that inner shaft there. This is rated from 0 to 5000 psi. It fits into a groove that we've got machined in there. It will not come out. It's very difficult to get those in. We, ship it out with them installed, but you can see the groove snaps right in there. And then as it wears, those springs will open up and continue to apply pressure with the life of the PTU. However, this is a PTFE, so it's self-lubricating. Even if you leave the car sitting for years, there's no fluid on the slide point of the fork, this will easily still slide. Yeah, it's an amazing little design, but this is not the complete repair that we do. There's also, we can't continue going with a snap ring like this. As you can see on there, you can see the line where that thing's just been hammering away, and how there's no coverage here, and it ends up breaking these teeth off. So we've switched to a spiral lock This provides nearly 360 degrees of locking pressure on the ring. It spirals a little bit tighter due to the fork being tighter. It's pretty easy to install and remove. Just use a pick to lift this little edge up, and you slide it into the groove, and then you slide your pick around and it coils into place. When you need to remove it, just lift up on the outside of it and slide your pick around and it'll just uncoil. So very easy to remove and install if you need to service it, but you should not have any problem with this. They're working really well for me now. I think I proved my point on what was wrong with it. So, you know, watch that video. Tell me what you think if you want to get a kit. Extremely affordable. I mean, Ferrari is saying if you have a PTU leak internally that you have to replace the whole thing at a cost of $40,000. And it's ridiculous because it's so simple to do. It's about 15 hours total labor to get it out of the car and to tear it apart. Excuse me. Fix everything and put it back in the car. Maybe 24 hours if it's the first time you're doing it. It is a little tricky. You have to get these balls and back in place. We'll make a how-to video. I'm going to go train some guys in Florida. We're going to make a how-to video. If you want to just send the PTU to me, the kit is linked in the description. Very affordable, and the labor to do so, everything out the door should be well under $6,000 with labor, including removing it and building it. $6-8 grand total cost, depending on where you're at, labor rates that are in that area. But anyway, link is in the description. If you have any questions, feel free to message me directly. All right.